So here we're using ChatGPT to create a concept for a proposal. Now, this is a proposal that the client is putting together for a new event. And this event wants a new theme and they want some new concepts for that theme. That's a lot of work before we can send a proposal to that client. And what we've got here is we've got the ability to create a AI concept from the click of a button. When they click that button, it sends the ID of that thing to this scenario. Now, when that data comes into the scenario, we then fetch the data from our database. That gives us our information here about what we're trying to create. We also have some system information, some system context that we're going to feed into ChatGPT. And I've held that in a variable here just to simplify my logic so that whenever I need to update what the business is and what they're doing, I know that I just have to change it in this one variable and I don't have to sift through my prompt in ChatGPT to find where that data is. I find that's really useful when you're working with ChatGPT because you can have really long prompts and it's quite easy to just get lost in that prompt architecture whenever you want to make a change. So here we've got our initial prompt. Here's our initial prompt. You are a theme concept designer for company X. And then we've got some information about what that business is and who they are and what they're trying to serve. Then we're feeding in the description of the thing that we're trying to create, that we want to conceptualize. So here we're conceptualizing a 4th of July celebration. And we've just got a bit of information here about what that celebration is. Now, this actually already comes from ChatGPT as well. We've got another button in our system where we can write a very brief explanation of our theme, and then ChatGPT then enhances the text. Then we've got the output. And what we're doing here is we're just asking ChatGPT to create a brief for this particular concept that we're creating. And now that we've created our brief of what we want to create, we then switch out and get some particulars based on the type of brief that we're creating. So there's different mood boards that we create for a theme. We might have a lighting, a staging, an overview page, a performances mood board. All of those will have different things that we want to create and see in that mood board. So we switch out for the different types here. And here we're just creating an overview of our theme. And here's some of the prompts that we want to add in to make sure that we get that in our mood board. Then we're creating our mood board here, and you can see we're feeding in our prompt. We're adding our mood board requirements on the bottom here, and then ChatGPT is going ahead using DALL-E and creating that mood board for us. Now the output looks like this, and these were getting created custom by our team before, and it would take them an hour, 2 hours to put something like this together. That's because they have to find all of these individual images to then create this mood board. And this mood board's for a 4th of July themed event. Now you can see it's definitely got a 4th of July sort of theme to it. However, it's not super strong. And the prompt, once this has been generated, we might go back and refine the inputs of this prompt in our database. So we'd actually change it in the database data, and then we'd re-click the button to generate a mood board again, and then we can then get a fresh idea for that mood board with this particular logic. Now, the benefit here is that we're storing each of those variations of the mood board in our database as well. And then we can go back and we can compare the different mood boards. We could copy and crop and cut different sections of the mood board out and then paste them into a new mood board if we want to create something completely custom. And for little things in the mood board like this text, normally what we do is we jump over to Canva and we just tidy up tiny little bits like that. For instance, we may not like this particular image and we may want something else because the stars are all funky. We might want to just put something else there. We can just jump into Canva and just paste in an image on top of that, and that fixes that little AI issue. Here for the text, we'll just copy the color of the background and just put a shape on top of the text to blur that out. And if we do that in all these sections, we pretty much get rid of all the AI generated stuff. That doesn't work. And that might take 5 to 15 minutes just to make those final tweaks. But the AI does the heavy lifting for us in creating the mood board in the first place. And that's just one way that we're using AI to create an image using data that we're pulling from our existing database, feeding that into ChatGPT, refining it a little bit, and then feeding that prompt into DALL-E to then create the final image.